They like.
I still got one last question for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the $1 million question, right? If you was the general manager of the Cavs, right? You know, you was Kobe Altman in this situation. What is one trade you would full-heartedly pursue to get the Cleveland Cavaliers back on track?
Now, not a lot of people are going to like me for this one. But really, Ben Simmons. Look, just hear me out. Ben Simmons. Hear me out. Okay. I get it. He's on a good not a great shooter. But we need talent, really. We need some kind of talent on this roster, okay? Ben Simmons would be the best player on this roster. He's a 3-time All-Star. He has all NBA on his resume. Who else in his roster can boast that besides maybe Kevin Love? But Kevin Love ain't that guy anymore. But I'm just saying, Ben Simmons, outside of his shooting, he provides so much more. His passing, his rebounding, his scoring is still pretty good. If the Cavs can build some kind of team that can fit to Ben Simmons' strengths and hide his weakness of shooting, I feel like Ben Simmons will elevate this team to a playoff team. That's just my opinion. I know a lot of people are not on board with Ben Simmons, but people gotta stop looking at that one playoff game because Ben Simmons is still a good player. He's still a really good player. He's still really young. Yeah, I feel like people are just living in the moment of recency bias.
But do you think Cleveland is the team that can really build a team around them? Because you said it though. Like you're gonna have to pitch shooters around Ben Simmons. Like, can Cleveland do that?
And if they're really committed to trading Ben Simmons, then they have to. I mean,
yeah.
I'm just saying this. Ben Simmons will probably be the best player on our team. You people gotta realize that. Like, we need talent overall. The value he provides on the court is, outside of his shooting, is really, really good.
So, all right,
we don't have to run him at the point guard either. We can run him at the 3 or the 4.
Right.
And also his defense. His defense is elite.
So if you run him at the 3 and 4, what you do with Evan Mobley and Jared?
And
Larry Martin.
So in my opinion, someone in the starting lineup might have to be sacrificed.
So who is it gonna be though?
In my opinion, now people are gonna like this, but look, if we're trading for Ben Simmons, I'm sorry, Jared Allen, but if the dude, we need some kind of shooters, and Jared Allen just ain't that guy, and I'd rather have Ben Simmons than Jared Allen, in my opinion. I would trade Jared Allen, move Evan Mobley to the 5, move Larry Markin to the 4, and we can get some good back for Jared Allen, because Jared Allen's really, really valuable for a team. But we have Evan Mobley, who could be our franchise center, and then we have Larry Markin at the 4, which 5 shooting, Ben Simmons at 3, and then whoever we trade for. Wherever we trade for, maybe some shooting. And we have Darius Garland.
Yeah. That's bold though. And low key, kind of visualizing that, I low key like that starting lineup though, because you said Ben, Laurie, and Evan Mobley at the 3, 4, and 5. I kind of like that. I'm not gonna lie, I really do like that. And you said who's the 1 and 2?
I said Darius Garland. And, well, it depends on whoever we trade Jared Allen for. Like we can trade for some shooters. Ideally, maybe run a Okoro at the 2. But I would like more shooting around it. So maybe we sub someone else in. But ideally, we would probably have to include Colin Sexton in the deal, which I know it's a bummer, but I'm sorry, I would trade him in the deal for Ben Simmons.
I'm not gonna lie, that lineup, I'm not gonna lie, that low-key would be kind of enticing to see, because you talking about Garland. Let's throw a random shoot. Let's say Korver, just to say shooter. Let's say Korver, Ben, Lauri Markkanen, and Evan Mobley. That actually could possibly get us that 35-40 mark. I think that could get us playing at the minimum.
Yeah.
But it is a bold take though, because a lot of people would not see that coming.
Yeah, and honestly, in my opinion, really, I do have some questions about Sexton, and once we pay Colin Sexton, we're basically locked into this Sexton court. Really, as you know, the history of small backcourts, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, outside of the Raptors who had Kawhi Leonard, I honestly can't think of any small backcourt that won a championship. Then we look at Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum hasn't won anything.
Exactly.
And the thing is, the thing is with small backcourts, this is not it's not like they are good defenders either. Like Kyle Lowry, they're both defense. They both have defensive limitations, and that's going to be a split in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I rather roll my dice in the playoffs with Ben Simmons, with a core of Ben Simmons, Mobley, and Garland, than running with Sexton and Mobley.
I agree. I like where you're going at with that. I'm not gonna lie, because like you said, guards under 6'2", historically, especially when you got 2 of them at your point guard and 2 guard, historically has not been worked unless you had an elite wing.
Yeah.
And the elite wing usually was 6'7" taller, right? That's where you said Toronto's, whatever team Brown was on, But even still, they didn't run a 2 small guard lineup. Even still,
well, they had Lowry and Van Vliet, so.
Yeah, but then they would still alternate those. They wouldn't even though they did play a good amount of minutes, but they would alternate a lot. And a lot of people might even argue if Golden State may have been healthy with Kevin Durant, that small ball lineup, at least with those 2 guards, wouldn't even work.
Also, I like the Utah Jazz. They haven't gone past the second round. Donovan Mitchell, Mike Conley haven't gone past the second round.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Matter of fact, even Phoenix, they got to the finals, and one of the biggest reasons why they couldn't compete is because they just didn't have the size, right? You had Milwaukee, who literally from point guard to center was huge, was mobile. Denver, huge. You get them. Dallas, huge. They have a 6'7" point guard in Luka Doncic. In this era, it's like you said, it's imposterous to have 2 undersized point guards. It's just and win. You can get in the playoffs, because especially if they're talented, but to win a championship, if that's your goal, or even Eastern Conference Finals or Western Conference, is really, really hard. You got your exceptions like Phoenix, they did it, but unfortunately, when they played a bigger team, it didn't work. And a lot of people, including myself, would argue if let's say Los Angeles Lakers was truly healthy, or at least had a full offseason to heal, I don't think they would have truly beat the Lakers. You know, like it's a lot of teams I don't really think Phoenix would have truly beat. I don't think they would have truly beat a fully healthy Clippers. You know, like it's a lot of teams in that Western Conference. I think they got the benefit of the doubt of, but you know, like you said, historically, 261, 262 guards doesn't work. Mm-hmm. It's just unfortunate. It just don't work.
Mm-hmm. So in my opinion, in general, I think we need to trade for some kind of star. But Ben Simmons is the latest one in the market, so I feel like I mentioned him. But really, who would you trade for?
Well, I'm gonna say this quick because I see the little timer ticking. But if it was me, I would. Even though now that you marketed that, how you kind of got me sold on that Ben Simmons now, or at least that lineup looks the same. But honestly, I would trade for Cam Reddish. I like him. I would pursue him, right? Because I feel like he's the most realistic player to get, while at the same time he has the most realistic model for our system, right? Because Cleveland, we don't have a franchise player, and because we don't have a franchise player, you can tell Cam Reddish, hey, go out there and hoop, and if you show us something, this could be your team, right? And I know people argue maybe Colin Sexton's a franchise player, but he's not necessarily.
In my opinion, Evan Mobley is a franchise player.
Already?
Well, he will be.
Well, you think potential? Okay, okay, yeah. I can see that too, but we have to see. I think Cam Reddish. If we trade for him, I think you have the chance.
I like Cam Reddish, really, but going back to the point, we know why Atlanta is trading him, right? They can't pay him.
Exactly.
But really, we have to go back to the Cavs. Can the Cavs pay him and give him adequate minutes?
Yeah, that's true. For the Cavs, I don't know about paying him. That will be difficult, but I think giving him minutes, yeah, because we don't really have a small forward. We don't have we picked Isaac Okoro, who is undersized at the small forward. I think he should be a 2-guard. Dylan Windler, even though he got the height, I don't think he has the weight, and I think he also is a shooting guard, right? Like, I don't really think our small forward position is locked. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I don't even think our number one option scoring-wise is locked right now, because you got Garland just last season who was on pace by possession to be on what Colin Sexton was doing, but just slightly more assists. So it's like, you know, I really think it's up for grabs, Antonio. I really think, the more I watch these, because it's a perfect example. Speaking of Chicago, right? Chicago, when Colin Sexton was out, they ran a rotation of Darius Garland at the 1, Isaac Okoro at the 2, I think Seti at the 3, and I can't think of who they ran at the 4, but they ran a Jared Allen, right? Yeah. And offensively and defensively, we was killing Chicago. Zach LaVine couldn't do anything because now I feel like Isaac Okoro was at his true position, right? Mm-hmm. He didn't necessarily stop Zach LaVine, but Zach LaVine was 8 for 22, right? And we beat Bulls, right? I think honestly, that system runs better with Garland at the 1, and I think that system runs better with Isaac Okoro at the shooting guard. Yeah.
Going back to your point, really. The thing with Colin Sexton is, I get it. He did average 24 and 4, but the thing is, you have to look at it. We're going to have to pay him big money, probably.
Yes, we are.
Really, honestly, in his position, he's pretty undersized. He can't guard big shooting guards.
I agree.
You're locking yourself into a duo who has both defensive limitations, and it just doesn't roll just doesn't flow that well with me. Like in the playoffs, that's just gonna be barbecue chicken for the offense. Because what they're gonna do is they're gonna put Colin Sexton, Garland for pick and rolls every time, and they're gonna exploit them. They're gonna exploit them on defense.
Yeah, I agree with you. But all that being said, though, because we only got a minute before they kick us out, though.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for joining me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why I can't say join me. I'm gonna also have your link and your Twitter Twitter handle down in the description box below. And I would love to have you on here again so we can talk more about these Cavs, especially throughout the season. I think it would be dope for us because I think we both really watched the Cavs. So I think this would be dope. So you got any last remarks?
No, I don't.
All right, man. Thank you, man.
That's Atlantis with that money.